Bill O'Reilly here, Monday, January 20th, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening today in America. Joe Biden calling for the repeal of legal protections for some social media companies. Congressman Nadler accusing Senate Republicans of orchestrating a cover-up in the impeachment trial. Mike Bloomberg says part of his success is a result of white privilege. The world's happiest country also boasts the highest suicide rate. Also, does skin color really matter in America? But first, Joe Biden asking lawmakers to repeal statutes that protect large internet companies from defamatory content posted on their platforms. The current system shields corporations like Facebook and Google from lawsuits for false information, libel, even criminal plots, so-called conspiracies. Overturning the law could force tech giants to regulate what users share on social media if the material is harmful. House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler accusing Senate Republicans of orchestrating a cover-up, saying GOP lawmakers are trying to conceal key witnesses during the president's impeachment trial. Nadler telling congressional colleagues Democrats will not consider any agreement allowing the testimony of Joe Biden or his son Hunter. So, doesn't that fall under the cover-up charge? Billionaire Mike Bloomberg telling reporters part of his financial success is a direct result of white privilege. The former New York City mayor saying, quote, "My story might have turned out very differently if I had been black," unquote. The 77-year-old businessman has an estimated net worth of more than $60 billion. And his story would have been different if he had been African American. More on this coming up in the message of the day. Also, according to Wall Street sources, Mayor Mike is preparing to spend up to $2 billion to take down Donald Trump in 2020. Bloomberg, currently polling at about 9%, is paying millions for an advertisement during the Super Bowl. Country of Finland ranked number 1 in the World Happiness Report, the nation taking the top spot in key indexes like generosity, honesty, health, income. Unfortunately, it also ranks highest on the planet for suicide. Researchers blame that sad statistic on a long, dark winter and a high income gap between rich and poor. In a moment, skin color. What kind of a factor is it? When an emergency strikes, what is your first impulse? If your answer is run to the grocery store, you'll likely find chaos and nothing but empty shelves. How do you avoid that? It's simple. You use today to make a plan, to prepare. One practical place to start is storing food in your home. That way you're protected in case there's a natural disaster, civil unrest, or a long-term power outage. I experienced that during Sandy. Now, I trust and use my Patriot Supply for my food storage. You should too. Start with this, a 2-week food supply. Save 45% today when you go to my special website, preparelikebill.com. These tasty breakfast, lunches, and dinners last up to 25 years in storage. And My Patriot Supply ships them fast and discreetly right to your door with guaranteed 2-day delivery. Act now so you're prepared at preparelikebill.com. Preparelikebill.com. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Does skin color matter in the USA? Watch the movie Mississippi Burning over the weekend, and even though it takes dramatic license, it is an excellent look at the segregationist South of the early 1960s, which was often brutal because African Americans were denied opportunities in many areas. The movie centers on the FBI's quest to find the bodies of slain civil rights workers, a true situation that happened in Mississippi. It is very dramatic and very accurate in its portrayal of the Deep South at the time. Now, today's federal holiday honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is a good time to think about how that brave man changed the country for the better by challenging irrational hatred with a vision of justice. Dr. King won many victories in the tough fight, but eventually paid for his activism with his own life. Last year, there were reports that Dr. King's private life was pretty sordid. The American press, including me, ignored the situation because the doctor is not here to defend himself, and the stories have no bearing on his heroism and lasting positive contribution to America. Simply put, Dr. King was a great man. With many Americans currently believing that the country remains a dreadful place on race relations, it is important to provide some perspective that I think Dr. King would want stated. The federal and state governments have an obligation to see that the Founding Fathers' vision of pursuing happiness is fairly presented. That means all Americans should be treated equally in the marketplace. It does not mean guaranteed outcomes in life. Mike Bloomberg saying that his success is based on white privilege is an overstatement, with all due respect to the mayor. It provides an excuse for people of color who don't want to do what is necessary to succeed. I taught high school in a minority city. The school was primarily poor and working class kids, and some of those kids, even very young, said, "Oh, I can't make it in America. I can't really succeed because the system will persecute me, will not allow me success." So every time you hear white privilege or white supremacy or patriarchy, while there is some truth to it, it does more harm than good because it saps initiative. Success in America does require government oversight for people who are not getting the opportunities they should get. But the most important thing is hard work, honesty, being prepared to take adversity and overcome it. Dr. King knew that. He knew what America should be, and he stated it clearly. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. You can see me analyze the news on BillO'Reilly.com. In a moment, something you might not know. Millions of Americans have been diagnosed with cancer or a serious illness. If you are one of them, and money is a problem, you're not alone. It's simple. If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, then Life Guide Partners can evaluate your coverage for free to see if you qualify for cash now when you need it the most. Be ready to take down this number. If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more and you are living with a serious illness, then Life Guide Partners can evaluate your coverage free to see if you qualify for cash now. So write this number down, 1-888-GUIDE-50. Totally free to call. Get rid of those insurance premiums. Stop paying them. Consider turning that life policy into cash. The number again, 1-888-GUIDE-50. 1-888-484-3350. 1-888-GUIDE-50. Call now. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. As stated and analyzed, today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a federal holiday signed into law by President Reagan in 1983. It gives Americans the opportunity to honor the achievements of one of the greatest civil rights leaders in human history. While most folks are familiar with Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, here are a few lesser-known facts about one of our most celebrated Americans. First off, he's in rare company. The only other American whose birthday is officially a national holiday, George Washington, the father of our country. Abraham Lincoln is honored on President's Day. Next, he wasn't always Martin. Dr. King was originally named after his father, Reverend Michael King Sr. He made the switch after attending a Baptist convention in Germany for famed theologian Martin Luther. Not everyone was on board with the name change. Some friends and family called him Mike until his death. When it came to schooling, Dr. King was smarter than the average guy. He skipped a few grades, enrolling in Morehouse College at just 15 years old. Dr. King went on to receive a bachelor's in sociology, becoming an ordained minister at 19. He then received a PhD in theology from Boston University in 1955. 1963, the March on Washington. 250,000 people on hand to watch Dr. King's historic speech. But the most memorable line of the speech was ad-libbed. The I Have a Dream section cannot be found in Dr. King's prepared remarks. At the age of 35, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, the youngest American ever given the honor. He would then go on to receive many awards, including a Grammy, posthumously for Best Spoken Word Album, Why I Oppose the War in Vietnam. For everything we know about Dr. King, there are still a few things we do not know, all thanks to the FBI. After his assassination in 1968, some documents were classified, others were destroyed, and now we will not get the rest of the story until 2027, when the declassification takes place. Back after this. There are thousands of abandoned animals in the USA that need our help. I am partnering with Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. Founded by actor Leo Grillo, who left Hollywood to devote his life to saving abandoned animals, Delta Animal Sanctuary is a one-of-a-kind rescue unit. They are staffed by trained attendants who look after each animal, providing them water, treats, toys, and affection. Support Delta Rescue and put your legacy to work. Each life-saving gift helps Delta fulfill their mandate to rescue and care for animals. Request a free estate planning package at deltarescue.org/bill. For a limited time, you can watch The Rescuer free, only at deltarescue.org/bill. The Rescuer is an award-winning documentary about Grillo's 2-year rescue of a family of 21 dogs abandoned in the wilderness. deltarescue.org/bill. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.